All right, so my period was supposed to come today and it has not yet, according to my app. I kind of have a feeling that my app is wrong though by a couple days, so I have a feeling really I shouldn't expect it for a couple days, but since it didn't come, I feel like I'm starting to get really anxious and convincing myself that I might be pregnant, even though I feel like in my heart that I've been having like signs of PMS and I've been cramping for the last few days, so I feel like it's actually not gonna be it this month, unfortunately. We're in month 4 or 5 of trying now, so I was really hopeful, but I don't think in my heart that it is. But since my period didn't come today, even though my app said it was supposed to, I just feel like I keep trying to convince myself that it is true. And so I feel like I could wait a couple days and like it would just happen, obviously, and I would figure it out. But I feel like the more I get my hopes up, the more hard it will be, or the more let down I might feel. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and take a test just to, get it out of my head. And if it's negative, then I know and I don't have to worry about it. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. All right, it's time to have a look. As I suspected, negative. Totally negative, not even like a faint line of hope. Well, I mean, I guess I had a feeling, so I shouldn't be upset. Like, I had a feeling, but it's so hard. Every month you get the negative. I mean, I'll try to look at the bright side. Like, Dan and I are gonna go on a date tomorrow, so I guess at least I can have a cocktail. But every one that you take, every one that's negative, the more months that go by, the harder it gets. And I have to believe that I have to believe that God has a plan and this isn't forever. We will eventually get our baby. But it doesn't make the news any easier. So I just finished putting the girls to bed and cleaning up after dinner, sitting here having a beer, because why not? And I feel like I knew that it was going to be negative. Like, I could feel it. I could feel it in my body. But still, seeing it on a test, it still is so heartbreaking. Every time, it's so heartbreaking. I feel like the last time that I did a test, I had literally started my period and I was in such denial, like thinking it could maybe be implantation bleeding or something. It was a full-on period, but I took a test anyway because I was in such denial. And I don't know, that's just what happens when you're in this cycle. When you want something so much, you can almost convince yourself of anything. And that's why I guess I wanted to take the test today, even though I was pretty sure it was negative, just to like get it off my head so that I could stop obsessing about it, because it is just always on your mind. It's the forefront thing on your mind. So at least now I guess I can just chill and do what I can. And do what I can for the next couple weeks until, it's time to try again or get started there. I feel like maybe I just need to focus more on being healthy and exercising and just trusting God, because really it is all in His hands. It's God's time and I have to trust that. So although I'm heartbroken, it's funny because of course now I hope that it's next month. It's August. It's the beginning of August when I'm filming this right now. So now I'm hoping like next month will be the yes month. And I have like extremely long cycles, like 40 to 50 days. So it'll probably be, mid to end September by the time I can do another test. But I was really hoping it was going to be this month, because if I found out in September that I was pregnant again, I'm not sure how I could emotionally handle it. So I wasn't YouTubing at the time, but before Juliana was born, we got pregnant with a baby in between Isabel and Juliana. And we found out on Dan's birthday, actually, so the end of September. And it was such a blessing. We had been trying for, I think, 8 months. And so we finally got the yes, and I carried this beautiful baby, this beautiful being, for 12 and a half weeks. And then we lost it. I could not go through with a DNC. It was my baby, and I just couldn't rip it apart. Like, I'm sorry to be graphic, but I just couldn't do that. So I knew I wanted to labor at home and have this baby to be able to bury it. And I did. I went through a full labor, and I had this baby, and I wrapped it up, and I buried her, and we grew some flowers over the garden that we buried her in. It was really beautiful. And we buried her right at Thanksgiving time, a week before Thanksgiving. So it was about 2 months that I knew, I think we were pregnant a little bit before I found out at Dan's birthday, but I knew about her for 2 months, and I loved her for 2 months. And going through a miscarriage, and then having to worry about conceiving again. I mean, Juliana is such a blessing, and we wouldn't have her without going through that loss. But I don't want to go through that again. And my heart goes out to all those people out there who have lost multiples. I know multiple women in my life who have, and they are so strong. I became a stronger woman after having gone through that experience, and talking about it helped. I mean, there are so many women that it has happened to, and it has such a negative stigma, I think, and it's so taboo to talk about, but it happens to so many people. And I mean, right now we're in like month 4 or 5 of trying, and there are women out there who have been trying for a lifetime, over 10 years. And so I don't mean to minimize their struggle with infertility by talking about my not even struggle with infertility. Like, I am fertile. I've had 2 babies. So my impatience, I guess, bug them with my impatience. How could I? I have 2 kids. How can I even complain about this? Is how I feel. I mean, but at the same time, I am feeling it, and I'm feeling it hard. And it's so hard to want something so much. But again, I keep saying this, but I know I have to trust that God has a plan. I cannot keep obsessing about it. It's like all I can think about sometimes. So again, that's why I took the test today, because I just don't want to. I feel like I'm rambling now at this point, so I should probably just stop, but it's hard. It's really hard. And to those of you who out there who are struggling with fertility, I'm praying for you. I'm with you. For those of you who have lost, I feel you. I am with you. I pray for you. I hope you find your rainbow baby like we did. I think we all need to just remember that people are going through things in life, and it might not show through the smile on their faces, but a lot of times, and for a lot of women, there is pain behind that smile. When my loss happened, I remember, Isabel was 1.5 at the time, and I just came home from the doctor's appointment, crying, and she was just wanted to comfort me. She couldn't understand, and so I had to be strong because she just, it was making it harder seeing her concerned for me. And I remember just going, we were staying at my parents' house at the time. We had just gotten back from traveling. We did a big trip traveling the world. And so we were staying at their house at the time. And I remember going in, I would cry every night. I would basically cry myself to sleep on the floor in the bathroom so that I didn't wake up anybody else and so that nobody else would hear me crying. And I remember just not being, I remember not believing it. Like, my family would have, a backyard barbecue or something, and everyone would be having a beer, and, they would want me to join in, and I just didn't believe it at the time. Like, I couldn't believe that. I thought the doctors were wrong, and I was in denial. And so, anyway, I guess my point is it's just hard, and it's a struggle to get through. So hug all those that are struggling, and you can't really understand it until you're going through it, to be honest. Like, I feel like if I was to tell this to someone, my sisters who have never had kids, or my friends who have never had kids, like, they could just understand that, we'll just keep trying, just, it'll come, it'll happen. And yes, that is true logically, but emotionally it doesn't feel that way. And it's a really hard thing to come to terms with. So if you're going through that, like, feel free to message me, please. Like, get me on Instagram and send me a message, because I would love to talk to you. I'm going through this now. Obviously, you might be too, and let's just hope for next month. Thanks for watching, guys.